My name is Gal, and I'm Jewish. Isn't it crazy that just saying that, just expressing such a simple fact about who I am, feels like a controversial statement? But sadly, this is where we're at today. I grew up in Rosh Hashanah, in the center of Israel. My mother was the daughter of a Holocaust survivor. Her father, my grandfather, Avraham Weiss, may he rest in peace, was born in what was then Czechoslovakia. He was the only one in his family who survived. His father died fighting for the Czech army when the Nazis invaded, and his mother and brother were murdered in the gas chambers of Auschwitz. He came to Israel with nothing and built a life for himself. And despite the horrors he endured, he always taught me the values of love, compassion, and tolerance. את לא משיגה שום דבר בכעס ובשנאה. You don't win anything with anger and hate, he used to tell me. On my father's side, I'm the 8th generation to be born in the land of Israel. One of my ancestors was the very first chemist in the Shearei Tzedek Hospital in Jerusalem. I'm very proud of both sides of my family, and they show the two sides of Israel. On the one hand, a country that provided a life raft for refugees fleeing the horrors of persecution, pogroms, and the Holocaust. And on the other hand, the historic homeland of the Jewish people, where our roots run deep and where we are an indigenous people. I am proud to be an Israeli, and I am proud to be Jewish. But this is a time when many of us in the Jewish community have had to find our voice and confront the hatred against us, even if it's extremely uncomfortable. That's been the case for all of us in every walk of life and every profession, including my own. I never really wanted to talk about politics. I kind of tried really, really hard to avoid it because no one wants to hear celebrities talking about political issues, right? But also, I regarded myself as a citizen of the world, an equal among equals. I'm Israeli, of course, and I knew that anti-Semitism and anti-Israel hate existed. And like all of us, sometimes I'd caught a whiff of it. But I never thought of myself as being where I came from. It was an aspect of who I am, but it didn't define me. And then October 7th happened, and everything since. Never did I imagine that we would witness such a day of such death and destruction of Jews in our lifetime. And never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world, we would see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of Jews. I know I'm not the only one in this room when I say that this was a wake-up call. Here's the thing. However much you tried to avoid it before, even if speaking up wasn't really your thing, none of us can ignore the explosion of Jew hatred around the world anymore. And that's what I'm doing. No way I need it. It really is me standing in front of you today, saying simply that my name is Gal and I'm Jewish. And we have had enough of Jew hatred. We will confront anti-Semitism, we will call it out, but we will never let it not only defeat us, but define us, because our love is stronger than their hate. On October 7th, Jewish women were sexually terrorized, raped, murdered and kidnapped by Hamas. We were all listening for, hoping to hear support from our sisters around the world, and too often heard silence. It's time to pass on to our children a love of who they are. Who are we? We, the Jewish people, are an ancient people with an ancient story in an ancient homeland. We are the people that celebrate life. We work to see better and more peaceful future. We challenge hate when we face it, but we do it with love while always striving to make the world a better place. And who am I? My name is Gal, and I'm Jewish. Am Israel Chai. Thank you.
Now, as you know, speaking out often comes at a cost. Like so many others, I've been attacked and threatened by people I've never met. I've been abandoned by people I thought were friends and by organizations I thought were allies. But I've also found amazing moments of meaning and solidarity. And I want to remind you that there are so many good people out there who have our backs, incredible allies, that we will get through this together, that our spirit is unbreakable, our joy is irrepressible, our story is impossible. We are kind, resilient, innovative, generous, and strong. But so many have chosen not to say anything publicly at all. And if I can say something directly to them, I really wish you would. I wish you would stand up. I wish you would speak out. You don't have to say anything political. No one's asking you to solve the conflict in the Middle East. Just say that you stand with your Jewish friends, colleagues, and neighbors against hatred and discrimination. Say that what's happening on our college campuses and in our schools and to Jewish-owned businesses is totally unacceptable. Say anything in solidarity with the Jewish community. This time we're in, with the terrifying global rise in anti-Semitism and the normalization of hate speech and physical attacks against Jews, calls for those of us in positions of real or perceived leadership, whether we ask for it or not, to risk a little personal comfort for the sake of the greater community. Elie Wiesel said, "The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference." What is indifference? It's inaction. It's silence. Sometimes, in moments of danger, it can feel like our only option is to stay quiet, to avoid drawing attention to ourselves, to hide. But here's the truth. Now is not the time to disappear. Now is the time to show up, to reach out, to connect with one another, to find strength in our community, and to raise up our voices together. When we do that, we change minds, we challenge assumptions, and we remind other Jewish people across the country and around the globe that we are not alone.
For any Christians who are watching this, God will bless those who bless Israel. God will bless those who bless the Jews. That's in the Bible. It's in the New Testament, I believe. You have, as Christians, and this isn't me holding this as a Jew above your head, you have a moral and religious commitment to bless Israel and to love Israel. It doesn't mean that you can't fall victim to anti-Semitism. You can't fall victim to anti-Israel propaganda. You can. It's there for you if you want to. But you know deep in your heart, that Jesus, Christianity, the kingdom of Israel, the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, has nothing to do with Palestine. Palestine is not mentioned once in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, in the Quran, in any of the Hindu books or the Buddhist books. It's not mentioned anywhere. You don't have to support every single action of Israel. You don't have to support every action of every Jew. But the concept and the people preserving Jerusalem, preserving Zion, preserving Israel, so you Christians can have access to it, so you Christians can come and pray with us to be our partners in this, is so, so important. We need your support. We need your love. Why does America? One of the pastors that I was in the Caribbean trip had told me recently, he strongly believes the reason why America has been so blessed, especially in recent years, and has become such a powerhouse, is because America has been a steadfast partner of Israel. The last 76 years, America, it wasn't perfect in the very beginning, I'll say that for sure. And especially there was a lot of anti-Israel hatred and a lot of anti-Semitism in the streets of America, but that has changed. Now we have a different kind of anti-Semitism manifesting mostly from the Arab world in the streets of America. But America has been a good friend to Israel. It's not always been perfect. But this pastor told me he believes the reason why America is so blessed is because America blesses Israel. Okay, let's stop there. There are thousands of Christian communities around the Middle East. True. All of them, bar the ones in Israel, all of them are declining. Every single Christian community across the Middle East is suffering some sort of persecution, whether it be purely like abuse by words or physical abuse or killings by radical Muslims. Just in the last week, it was over 700 Christians, Alawites, and Christian Syrians that were murdered on the streets of Syria. Just 2 weeks ago, while I was in the Caribbean, 70 Congolese Christians were beheaded in a church in the Congo by Muslims. Christians are not treated equal in the Middle East, not by Muslim Arabs. They are by Jews. And it's not perfect. I'm not going to say the relationship between Jews and Christians in Israel is perfect, but we're not persecuting our Christian community. It's the only country in the Middle East where the Christian community has improved, where it is increasing, because we don't persecute our Christian community. We see value in them. Now, this is a message to the Jewish people. We need to understand something very clearly, okay? We have abandoned our Christian communities in the Middle East. We all need to do a better job to stand up for our Christian communities in the Middle East. And this is me talking to you about the Christians in Syria. It's the Christians in Iraq. It's the Christians in Lebanon, the Maronite Christians. Just because they're Christian, we have a bad taste in our mouth. A lot of us do, from the trauma that was instilled upon us by Christian communities in the past. Doesn't mean we can turn a blind eye to our Christian brothers and sisters. Yes, they are our brothers and sisters. Why? A lot of these Christians that are around the Middle East are not Arabs. They're Arabized people. These are people who very well might be Jewish in their DNA. Some of them are the early adopters of Christianity, which means there's a good chance that a lot of them existed from the kingdom of Israel. A lot of them might be Jewish people who adopted Christianity thousands of years ago and brought that generation after generation. They're some of the most old and ancient DNA strands and people of the Middle East. It is our duty, every single Jew in this world, we need to be the allies, just the way that the Christians in the West have become allies of Jewish people and of Israel, and they stand up for us and they're like our big brother. Oh wow, there's rockets in Israel and Tel Aviv. Wow, that caught me live right now. That scared me. It made me want to run. I'm in America, so I don't have to run. Whew, firing at Tel Aviv. My God. My heart started beating. We'll check in family in a second when I finish this rant. But this is the reality, okay? We need to be steadfast partners of our friends in the Middle East, of our Christian friends in the Middle East. But the same way that Christians in the West have stood up for us Jews, a lot of them really are standing up for us. We need to do that for Christians in the Middle East. It is our duty. I really believe that. And I'm going to try to implement this into my own life this coming year. Because I want to show the same love that Christians in the West are showing us Jews. I want to show to the Christians in the Middle East. I want them to feel supported by the state of Israel. I want them to feel supported by us, by the Jewish community. Regardless of if they accept our love or if they accept our support or if they're brainwashed that the Muslims are somehow going to save them or be their friends or protect them, we know that that's not the truth. And we know that their communities are dwindling. I believe in Jewish and Christian alliance. I believe in Jewish and Christian working together. We need to be better friends to our Christian communities in the Middle East. It is our responsibility. And that includes Christian Palestinians. We need to stand up for them. We need to protect them. We need to make them feel safe and make them feel heard and protected. Christians in the Middle East, amongst other ethnic groups as well. It could be Alawites, who are kind of semi-Muslim, or Sufis, or Mandeans, who aren't exactly Christian. They're not Christian. All these ethnic groups deserve protection and love and a feeling of protection from us Jewish people. But the Christians are our brothers. They are our brothers and sisters. It's time for us to step up to the plate and make them feel protected. And I really, really believe in that. And I hope you guys appreciate that, and I hope you guys appreciate my content. And I love you all. Long time. Send your well wishes to Israel, because there's rockets flying now in Israel. And I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Long time. Goodbye, Clatt.
Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.